Hi, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so excited for the second part of a Marley Design copycat. It was of her flip book, which is this. And this is actually probably the fifth or sixth time I'm trying to videotape this. So, fingers crossed. I was having loads of technical difficulty yesterday. Uh, I'm not even sure if I figured it out because I am the most technically challenged person I know. Uh, little story. Um, Probably a lot of our parents in my age group have uh, family movies that they took that are reels, um, that have no sound. At least my pappy took many of our family, and they have no sound. And when I was 20 years old, give or take, more give, they came out with the camcorders that you could buy. They were kind of big, giant things people had to put up by their eye. And my father in law, who was not my father in law at that time, but he shortly after that became my father in law, so I will call him that, had gotten this camcorder for Christmas. And when we went up to his house for Christmas, he got out the camcorder and started videotaping us. And me, in my wonderful wisdom, looked at the camera, waved, fluttered my eyelashes, and mouthed silently, "Thank you so much. I love my gift. It's beautiful." And it was some sweater of some sort. And I held it up and fluttered my eyelashes some more and smiled and mouthed again, "Thanks so much. I must have been good. Thank you, Santa." Not realizing that I was the only one mouthing words and the video camera could actually record sound. So, yeah, and I haven't really moved too far from that. So, now that you know what you're dealing with here, we can all lower our expectations. With that being said, I did some more and had to redo. And as it turns out, I already have some pieces here that I'm going to have to try and just explain instead of redo with you because of how many pieces I now have that I've done, not on camera. So these are the two flaps we're going to be working on today, and hopefully we'll get to the envelopes that are hooked to the flaps. Now this was my little add-on piece. I don't think I'm going to be putting on this add-on piece, but that is, if you would like to add that on or any other little piece, that's on you. You can design it. It's your flip book. But as you can see also, just the envelope is not completely glued, and this is actually pocket, so as well as this is. If you feel you want to glue this completely down, you certainly can. I felt that since I had sewn around, that this part was strong enough to make its own pocket, and that I wouldn't need to completely glue down. But again, you can design your pocket any way you would like. That's what we're working on. So let me get this out of the way. Here's the one that I am working on. Just for the sake of time and not being able to take, record myself over sewing. I'm not going to sew on this one as we move on, because you don't have to. So that's what I'm going to do. So what you're going to need to make your pockets are paper that coincides with the paper you already have chosen. And you also want to make sure that it only has one side, unless you don't mind words and things being upside down. If you don't mind that, then go for it. I do a little bit. This over here and this here have very faint numbers and words. They're sideways. That doesn't bother me at all. So what you need is you need a left and a right. So you have to keep that in mind when you're scoring. So let me move that over. And let me close this. You will need 12 inch went this way and 3 inch this way. Now if you have it 3 inches here, it leaves you with a 2-inch pocket. If you would like, or flip, I should say, not pocket, a flip. If you would like your flip to be a little wider, then I would go 3.5 inch by 12 inch. That way this would be a 1/2 inch wider. Because our two score lines, one of these are 1/2 inch, another is a 1/2 inch. So that's an inch we lose off it. This is the first 1/2 inch is what we glue. The second 1/2 inch here is our spine for the side. When we glue it to the back, and then you can either sew it or just leave it glued. So that's, I should have mentioned as well, I do all mine with this part being to the outside. I just feel that if I'm making this a pocket, it helps to give that a little more strength on the sides. But if you prefer, you could not glue the top onto the back, the front onto the back, until after you make these and glue these on first and then put the top over it. 6 of one, 1/2 dozen of another. It's just what you prefer. But I do like mine to the outside, especially when I sew. I think it just adds a little interest to for the eye, that's all. So you do what you would like to do. So if you want a wider pocket, it's 3.5 by 12. Then you get your scoreboard, and again you can rip or cut. I ripped these pieces by up against my ruler. So you can either rip it or use a paper cutter. So on your left flap, you want your scores on the right side. You want to score after a 1/2 inch, and then you want to score at 1 inch. When you do that, this is still going to be here, so this is what we cut out. I cut that out. You will have to cut yours out. I thought I had my missing pieces here somewhere. I think these are it. So that is actually there. So I scored all the way down at a 1/2 inch and then at 1 inch. Then I flipped it. And then you want to score. Now I'm kind of measuring from this way. You want to score at 8.5 and then at 9. 8.5, then at 9. Then put that aside. Then you get your right-sided piece, and you want to score on the left side. So pretend these pieces are here. First you want to score 1/2 inch, and then at 1 inch. Then you want to flip it around. Move that out of the way. And then you want to score again at 8.5 and then at 9. I inked my edges because when I thought I was filming, I wanted everyone to be able to see where I was cutting and what I was cutting off. And I thought if I inked my edges, you would be able to see it more easier. So on your left side, you want to cut that off, and you want to make sure that your piece isn't being hindered. If it is, trim it up. And you want to do the same on this side. Make sure that your side is not hindering folding. Put that aside. Trying to see if I want to just take, I think I do want to just take a sliver, and I hope my head doesn't get in the frame. And not only that, one of my previous taping, my head bumped the camera, so let's hope I don't keep doing that. Sorry about my arm, and I'm sorry. The under thing here is actually glass, and it's kind of why I put this rubber one down, is because the glass one makes a ton of noise, and it is annoying. It's annoying to me, so I can only imagine how annoying it is if you're listening to it on video. So I apologize for too much clanging and noise. Okay, so we have our two pieces. The other thing I want to cover before I put them on is always fit them. Before I fit them, I'm going to move my scoring board. Always fit them a few times, because I can't tell you how often I think I measure whatever, and then I go to glue them on and realize a tiny bit too long or whatever. Okay, now when you glue it, you want to glue it only on this first ½ inch, and you want to make sure that you don't glue too close to the score line, or when you fold it up, it will hit and not want to close nicely. So that's all you want to make sure with there. So I'm going to get my glue out, and I'm going to glue that. No sense in moving ahead. If you did, I just bump the bump the camera. I'm so sorry if I bumped the camera. The other time I thought I had it up higher. I must have had it up higher. I don't. Again, I think I answered everyone's questions about that, so just gonna move on. I'm gonna fold this up so I don't get it. And put that over. I like to use Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1, one of the acetate glues, because I do like to have that couple seconds of shimmy room. I need a glue that's going to allow me to shimmy. And we want to just make sure we get good contact before we move on. Now we're going to do this side. So this is actually from the Dollar Tree. I don't know if they actually carry it anymore, because the last time I bought it, I bought probably 10 bottles of it. but I actually got this from the Dollar Tree. And it is an acetone base, so it dries quick. And it's just like, at least it smells identical to Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1. But it's only now $1.25 per bottle. And in this bottle you get 1.75 ounces. So I thought that actually, when I did the math originally, I felt that was a better price than Walmart at Fabri-Tac. So, okay, now we have our sides. Now, the other thing I'll show you is the envelopes. I think we all have packs of envelopes. Some of us have more packs than others. This is what I used, and I accidentally put it upside down the first time. This is what I used for envelopes the first time, and I ordered them from Amazon. And I really like them. They're fairly thick, and they have like a faux writing and faux, I don't know, but they're smooth. But I really like them. However, since I used them in my last one, I thought I'd dig into my stash and see what else I had. When I realized, out of these other ones that I have, although there's nothing wrong with them, I thought they weren't quite the size I wanted. So I took, it's a very thin cardstock. It's more of a thick paper, I would say. I ordered it off Amazon. It comes in, this is a 14-inch piece. I had to order 14 inches for project I did a long time ago, but I ordered a whole pack of this. So this is what I used for these. So it's very thin. Unfortunately, I didn't keep any of the paper that tells me what thickness it is or what company sold it. I can just say it was under, I think, craft paper, to be honest. It's pretty thin, but it's still it's a, you know, thicker than a normal piece of printer paper. Anyway, so I made 2 envelopes, and I wanted to make do the same design that Marley did, or Marlise did in hers, and I did in my first copycat, which is she put one this way and one this way. And this one I didn't glue down yet because I just wanted to show you that I did make them, and I did leave this one longer on purpose, but this will get another piece of cardstock over it, as will this one up here, because I did want to change something, which is on this one that I made. Although this side is fine, this side, although it's fine, I wish I would have made this little extra piece, which I sewed on, a little bit longer, maybe over to here, and then I would have put this over here, closer to here, and had it be more at that angle and not sideways, because when I'm not careful, it wants to pull that way, and that was not my intent when I made it side. I just thought that, oh, wouldn't that look special? But it just pulls a little. I mean, once it's set, it's fine, but, and this one as well, Marlise did hers a little bit longer, and she did make it more even. So I don't want to make one really cockeyed and one not. I want to try to make them a little cohesive. So that's what I'm going to change on my next one. So keep that in mind. Now, I figured this comes pretty close, top to bottom. And I figured I wanted to give myself a little bit of room to decide. Do I want to bring it all the way out and glue it? Like, you know, close. If you want to stay away from the score line. So do I want to bring it out as far as I want? Or do I want to put it in as far as I can? And if I do that, I can do this up into a pocket. If I pull it out, it just doesn't make a great pocket because it gets glued and or sewn, and it doesn't make as great a pocket. So I think I answered my own question. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to split the little bit of difference between the bottom score line and the top, and I'm going to glue it almost up to the score line like that. I am going to glue it so there's a pocket, which means I'm just going to put glue here and then down here, and I'm just going to put it in. Also, I might as well give you the measurements then. If you're making yours like mine, the 8.5, and it doesn't matter how wide this pocket is. If it's mine's 2 inches here. If yours is 2.5 because you wanted it wider, that just gives you a nicer, deeper pocket. Oh, sorry, you don't have to make your envelope the size I've made my envelope, but I will give you the size that I made my envelope. So my envelope is about 8 1/4 high by 5.5 wide. This one should be almost 5.5, not quite 5.5 by, I actually wanted it to be 5.5. I measured because I didn't take into consideration I was going to have to trim this down and then fold that over, leaving it a hair too short. So not really. It's whatever we want, right? So again, it's not quite 5.5. It's a little less than 5.5 by 5.5. So there you go. Basically a square. And that I'm going to, after I glue it together, I'm going to glue down here, giving me this wide gap, which we won't worry about right now at all. So also, if you're going to make your own envelopes, trim down this in the front so that it doesn't hinder with your flap. Same on this. Trim it down a little bit. It's just a little piece of advice there from someone who didn't used to do that and wondered why I always had a problem. Okay, so I'm not going to glue obviously up into here because I don't have anything that it will glue to except clothes, so I don't want to do that. So I'm sorry if I was out of frame. Okay, I'm going to put that down. Give it a good rub. While that is drying, I just want to put that there just in case any of that glue oozed up. And because I'm always slightly heavy-handed with the glue, I usually have to do my rubber rubbing. And just glue this flap. Whoop, just do what I said I wasn't gonna do. Okay, make sure that's laying flat and press. Put my ruler in so I can press it. And there we go. Perfection. Okay. Now this flap and this flap is where we're going to put our brads. I'm not sure what exactly they're called, but for mine, I put a little extra, little tiny one extra, just to give the paper, the cardstock, a little extra strength. I also doubled this cardstock piece, and I put one of these to the round one and put my hole through. So as you see, these are just brads. So that's what I'm gonna use in the one we're making. But for now, that's what we're doing. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is mark where I want to glue this. Whoop. Whoop. Again, just going to put a little line here so I know where to put my glue. Same up here. Close. Oh, I'm off the thing. There. Close enough. Now I know where to. Should have spun it earlier. Just put a little dab will do you here. I don't mind if it's a little bit thicker of a glue space, because that's going to be an awfully long pocket. What the world, Jill? Too much of this. That's what I'm doing. I have to pay more attention. And then just right along here. Again, I don't want to go too close to the score line, so I moved it out a little bit. Make sure I don't cut any, 'cause sometimes that glue strings across. Okay, I want my flap to the inside of this, so just spin it. I also have a glue eraser thing, and I actually use it quite a bit. I actually like it. I got mine at the Dollar Tree. I seen them at Hobby Lobby and I think even Walmart, but I got mine at the Dollar Tree. I like it so much I got an extra one. If anyone knows, are you supposed to trim the black off it, or do they just whittle away on their own eventually, or I don't know, but I like it. Okay, now we're gonna do this side. this side. We'll go here. Probably going to lift it up just about the same space. As I am from that one. Just going to draw a little line so I know where to put my glue. Turn it so perhaps I can see better. And I think most likely the biggest challenge here is going to be as this thing is added onto with flips. It's going to get harder and harder to get it all in frame. So I'm pretty sure at every point that we're at with this, we are going to have part of it not in frame. That's all right. We can deal with that. We can deal with that. Now, I don't know how many of you have gone to Marley Design channel. That's the name of her channel. If you haven't done so yet, please do. She's absolutely amazing. Super talented lady. I don't know if she still is, but she was on Tim Holtz design team or something to that effect. Oh, she does some amazing work. I think sometimes some of my problem is picking from so many wonderful projects that these women do, that these ladies end up doing, that I get overwhelmed. And next thing you know, I have 6 different projects started. Okay, I think got some glue there. See? Oh, my goodness. All right, whoops, sorry. Okay, so as you see, and this I'm still going to add a piece to, but we're not going to do that today. And then there's this. I actually may want to nip that down a hair. I think I did. Wonder how but I still want to take a hair off. Again, can't help it. I don't want it getting in the way. And sometimes these score lines seem to spread out. There's and get a little bit fat. Maybe it's because I'm folding my paper in the wrong direction, you know, the peaks and valleys or hills, whatever the whole saying is with the score board. I don't know the saying, obviously. Okay, so it will fold in like that, and this will fold up like that. This will fold down, and it's becoming very exciting. But that will be it for today. I hope you're crafting along with me, and if you have any questions, if I was confusing or anything, please reach out to me. I'm not always a great help, but I try. So please reach out. Don't be shy. And if you have any comments on it, again, comment away. I don't mind constructive criticism. Always love a nice comment. So you don't hold back. Just let me know. Okay, well, as long as my phone doesn't act up, I'm gonna continue with part 3. Since this was part 2, I'm gonna continue and do part 3 in probably a day and a half to 2 days, because in between I actually have another really cute project. It's not about this, it's something different, and it's adorable. I hope you, it's going to be way shorter too, so I hope you uh, go out of your way to catch that, because I think it's adorable. And follow me on Instagram, because sometimes that's where I post something first, because it's way easier and quicker. So, okay, I'll, I'll be on my way. Have a great evening, and thanks for joining me.